Hey guys, welcome back to Moonlight Sports Presents. This week, don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. The Mustache. It's an all mustache team. We got, there's new mustaches popping up now. I think Dylan Cease, what is his name? Scott Strider, Spencer Strider, Scott Strider. Who the hell is Scott Strider? Spencer Strider. Mustache is coming back. Matt Carpenter had one. We got a little one coming in. We got a little one coming in right now. So we're doing all mustaches. Rules are the same: $80 million budget, 25-man roster, no DH. Everyone's got to have a mustache, and then they don't just have to have had a mustache sometime in their career. They have to have a mustache the season I picked them. So let's jump right into it. All mustache team, mustache mountain, whatever you want to call it. Let's go. And here we go. We got the notebook. We're making an all mustache team, Mustache Mountain. We're going to start with pitchers like how we usually start with pitchers. Part of me is even thinking about starting with relief pitchers and getting really kind of weird with it because we got some real iconic relief pitching mustaches. We're talking Rollie Fingers. We're talking Sparky Lyle. We're talking Goose Gossage. We're talking Dennis Eckersley. We're probably got some other iconic dashes on the. Oh, Dan Queensberry. Iconic stash. Rod Beck. Iconic stash. Todd Jones. Okay, so we have a lot of relief pitchers to choose from. Some current day starting. Okay, Okay, we can't start with relief pitchers because then I don't want to fit in the starters. I want to start with someone. And so let's start with relief. Let's start with starting pitchers. We've got Catfish Hunter. We've got Randy Johnson. We got El Presidente, Dennis Martinez. I love that guy growing up for some reason. I'm not sure why. We got Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry. We got Dave Stieb, underrated pitcher from the Blue Jays. I think I saw on Twitter the other day that he has like the highest WAR of any starter from the 80s, which sounds crazy when you think about it. But Dave Stieb, we got Doug Drybeck. He won a Cy Young, I believe. We've got some new guys: Spencer Strider, Dylan Cease. Okay, I think we got a good sort of mix of guys. I think we might go like kind of pitching heavy-ish on this, but I don't know. Okay. What pitcher do we want to start? We mentioned Dave Stieb. Let's see if there's a Stieb. We mentioned Dave Stieb as an highest WAR of the 80s. I don't know if that's true. Someone fact check me. But let's see if he does it for me. I mean, these are all really good years. And a lot of innings in these 80s. Again, he played all of the 80s, so that's probably part of it. Like, I don't know when I think Clemens was a rookie in like 83 or 84 or something. So, you probably didn't get as many Clemens seasons. Okay, this is really interesting to me. 2-1 K to walk. I really like this version of him. What's the difference between this version and this version? This one strikes out more guys, walks less, gives up less homers. This one gives up less hits. Okay, we're going 84 Steve. With 1984 Steve. Let's take a look at this mustache real quick. I'm not gonna do this on all the guys, but look at that mustache. Look at that stash. We love it. Is this a stash or is this a beard? That's a stash. That's a stash. We can see it on the side. That's a stash, baby. Okay. So we got Steve. I think we're also going to see if there's an El Presidente, Dennis Martinez, because another sort of underrated guy, forgotten guy to time. But he had a great stash. Expos, Indians. This was a guy I loved. This guy growing up for some reason. Again, pitched through the whole '80s. I wonder where he ranks among the '80s WAR. Someone tell me in this that doesn't strike out. Okay, this is a great strikeout to walk ratio. Not a lot of home runs, good hits. Doesn't necessarily have the innings. This one has more innings, less Ks, less strikeouts, but still 2-1. Less homers, more innings. If we take this one, we're going to need more innings. If we're doing a 4-man rotation, we're going to need more innings. If we take 94 Indians, we'll need less innings, but he's going to be a little bit less of a pitcher. I'm just looking on who we have on this list. We already have Steve. Catfish Hunter will probably have some good many innings. Randy Johnson will have some good inning seasons. Spencer and Cease are not going to have innings unless we make them a sort of spot starter. All right, we're going to go with this one. I think we'll be able to find the innings with Catfish. ERAC. He's probably going to be have the most expensive seasons. Not unsurprising at all. But we could maybe go like a 300 inning. This is really expensive. He does give up home runs are a little high. Home runs are a little high. Like we kind of want this season or this season. I don't feel like he's as dominant as we want him to be. Let's look at Ron Guidry. Another Yankee. A lot of 80s guys. Where does he rank in the 80s WAR? Someone tell me, like, ooh, look how great. Oh, only 190 innings, though. This one's interesting. Gives up a lot of hits. Well, not like a lot of hits, under 250. But 6. Okay, let's take this Guidry. So right now we'd want about 250 innings. Am I doing that math right? 260 innings if we want to get to 1,000. So Drybeck. All right, let's look at Randy. The big unit. I kind of want like a Seattle year where he had that real mullet stash combo. This is going to be the cheapest of the years. And this isn't bad, but it's kind of expensive. If we took this $7 million version of him, we have $10 million to play with the bench, and we're a little under 1,000. Okay, we're going to go with this, and then we're going to like sort of load up. Let's see. Okay. You can't have a. You cannot have a mustache mountain without Rollie Fingers. I mean, this guy is all mustache. He's kind of expensive. I mean, this is not expensive. Let's make sure 1982 Rollie Fingers, good strikeout to walk, doesn't give up hits, doesn't give up homers. Okay. Rollie Fingers, you have to be on this team. I think Dan Queensberry has to be on this team. Another underrated, another guy that, feels like he's forgotten the time. I don't know how to spell his last name. Dan Q. How many Dan Qs can there be? Dan Quayle? Quintonberry. Again, $2 million. This one gives up too many hits. His opponent batting average is a lot higher than I was expecting it to be. but he doesn't walk anyone. This one's really good. I'm not really crazy about any of these, if I'm going to be honest. Let's take this one because I don't think we're going to be leaning on him as much, but not a bad arm. Okay. Who else do we have on this? We've got Sparky Lyle, Goose Gossage. I think we got to go. Who has a better mustache? Sparky? Lyle? They have to have mustaches in the year we draft them as well. I mean, Sparky's got a great one now. Back then, I mean, he didn't even always have one. And then who else was the other guy? Goose Gossage. I think we're gonna go with Gus. Yeah. We got to go with Gus. The goose. The goose is loose. Of course, is it 1-0? The 2 O's? The 2 S's? How do you spell Gossage? Let's go Goss, like that. Rich Gossage. Okay. Almost 2-1. This one's we really like this strikeout to walk ratio. Doesn't give, okay, so we're taking this Rich Gossage. How we're looking at innings and how we're looking at that. We have we usually like going 50-50, so we have about 7 million left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need about 300 innings, 220 innings. Okay. I'm looking at the guys on my list here. No disrespect to the man, but I'm going to see if there's a cheap Todd Jones. Another great mustache, but like he was like good, really good some years, and he was also really not great some years. So we're going to take this cheap Todd Jones. He's going to be our mop up sort of end of the. It kind of still gives us a little more money to play with. Okay, let's look at Eckersley. We could have made him a starter too. He had some good starting seasons. But we're going to look at his relieving seasons, mostly Oakland. Like, look at this strikeout to walk ratio. Okay, these are kind of expensive though. This strikeout to walk ratio is pretty interesting, and it's not that expensive. This one's more expensive. Really good strikeout to walk ratios all these years. It's just what years did he give up hits, and what years did he get innings? This one he gave up too many homers. This one he gave up too many homers. These years are too expensive. Okay, I'm kind of liking this year, and I'm kind of liking this year. All right, let's go 93 Eckersley. Okay, how many? We need 130 more innings. We're probably going to put it over 2 pitchers. Okay, we got an idea for someone. Rod Beck. Rod Beck was, if you guys don't know who Rod Beck was, he was just like cool and fat and also had a mullet. He looked like he should be in like a truck stop somewhere eating like just Philly cheesesteaks, man. Like, I don't even know. Just having like a piece of cheesecake and a burger and getting the burger like juice down his mustache. He's the everyman. This is a really good year, but it's only 40 innings. So let's see. 2-5. Both of these are good strikeout the walks. Gives up a lot of homers this year, though, and gives up a lot of hits. This one's, again, good, but it's only 40 innings. This one's good. He gives up homers. He's going to give up some long balls. If we do this, if we take this Rod Beck, we'll need about 80 innings, and we could go 2 pitchers. And we have 5 million. You know what? We have money. We have some money here. So let's. Did we take a Queensberry? We took a Queensberry already, right? Maybe we'll take a better Queensberry. Part of me is thinking. Maybe we'll take a better Queensberry. Okay, let's try to take what was the one that we had more innings. Let's take this. Gives up some homers, but he's still pretty good. So we're gonna take this Rod Beck, and we're gonna see if there's a little bit better of a better Queensberry. Quisenberry. I keep saying his name wrong. I don't know. I've never, heard his name said. He started watching baseball in like '93. He was already out of the league. But I've seen the name. He's like very famous. Like they love him in not St. Louis, in Kansas City, Missouri. I guess they all love him in Missouri. I mean, 99. Like this is again, he gives up a lot of hits. Maybe we'll go with this year. Again, gives up a lot of hits. Not a great strikeout to walk ratio, but doesn't give up. Really didn't give up a lot of runs. What's about this version of him? Less home runs, a lot of hits. Okay, maybe we'll get this Queensberry. We have $2 million left on the pitchers, and now we only need about 20 innings. And who else do we have? We've got Sparky Lyle. We've got Sparky Lyle. We could look at if one of these relief pitchers, like if Doug Drybeck has kind of like a year that we could have him be a closer or a reliever. I'm just looking here. All right, let's look at Sparky Lyle. I don't think Sparky Lyle will necessarily have cheapish seasons, but he's a guy that throws innings. But honestly, it's 40 innings, but it's like 40 really good innings. This is a 1967 Sparky Lyle, so that's pretty early in his life. Let's see, does he have a mustache in 1967? This might be Sparky Lyle. We're gonna use baseball cards as the. There's no mustache in this. Wait. Sorry. I ain't seeing a mustache on this Sparky Lyle. Thank you for coming. Please try again. We're going to need a lefty in the bullpen as well. So we're going to go with Lyle, but we're not going to go with that Lyle. Most recent search. That was a really good Sparky Lyle year. Maybe we'll go with this one. Not as good. Let's see if 1971 Sparky Lyle has a mustache. No. Red Sox version of Sparky Lyle does not have a mustache, and I kind of don't want any of these versions. I mean, this version's really good, but he's expensive. This version's really good. Do I have 2.8 to spend on him? We could spend this money on him, but do we want to go over 40 million? And does 1973 Sparky Lyle have a mustache? That's the other question. Again, no mustache. Mutton chops, but no mustache. Okay, Sparky, you're out. You are out of this question. Okay, who else? I got to now rack my brain. John Axelford. Let's go maybe in. Is it Axford? It's so weird. When you write these names, you always forget exactly what it is. No L. John Axford. Not a lefty, though. It would be nice to get a lefty in the bullpen. It would be nice. This one's pretty good. 2018, John Axford. Guys, let me know in the comments who's a good lefty mustache that I'm missing. No mustache on Blue Jays, John Axford, though. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. There's also David. Wait. Is this? That's not who I want. Who am I thinking of? Who played on the Pirates? Who played on the Pirates? One in the 80s, one Willie. Willie Hernandez. Oh, and he's a lefty. Mwah. Let's see if he had one on the Cubs. I know he had it on the Tigers. Again, these are some good years, though. Doesn't give up hits. Does give up some long balls. Okay. 1988. I'm pretty sure he has a 1988. Dave Hernandez. I keep calling him Dave. Willie Hernandez. He won a Cy Young as a relief pitcher, so. Yeah, that's a nice stash. That's a good stash and glasses combo. We love it. And we're under 4 million. Perfect. And we have the innings. And we have our lefty. Great. Love it, love it, love it. Now let's jump into our offense. I'm going to start this offense on the bench because there's guys that I don't want to spend money on that I know have good stashes, like Sal Fasano. This is an iconic mustache. Now, this is more money than I usually like spending on a backup player, but you can't have an all mustache team without Sal Fasano. I mean, look at this stage, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that stage. I'm not even gonna. 2006, he's got a mustache his whole life. Look at this stash, man. The guy was born to have hair under his nose. Okay, who else do we want here? We want a backup infielder like Matt Carpenter, Brandon Ryan are both guys that had stashes recently, but they're not going to be. Oh, Brandon Ryan might be kind of cheap, but I don't know what years he's had and what years he hasn't. So we do have some ideas of kind of infielders. We got Ozzie Guillen, Jose Valentin, Carlos Baerga. Okay, those are all kind of Tony Phillips. I don't think there'll be a cheap Tony Phillips here, but if they're, we're going to look at Tony Phillips first because he plays everywhere. There's one that's under 300K. We're going to take it. Oh, there's one he only plays shortstop that season. Like I was hoping for this season, but cheap. Okay, and he's a switch hitter too. Okay, who else did we have on here? We had Ozzie Guillen. How do you spell Ozzie Guillen? Am I going crazy? Is it G? Oh, okay. Oh, it's GI. And he's like, this is exactly what we were kind of looking for. That's first base, right? Perfect. Another guy. Well, let's look at Jose Valentin. I do think Jose Valentin might be kind of expensive. The Valentine. How do you pronounce that? Valentine or Valentin? Valentin. Oh, that's pretty not bad. That's not bad. And he could play as outfield too. Let's just make sure 2005. 2005. Jose Valentin. How many times am I going to spell this wrong? Yeah, that's a mustache, baby. That is a mustache. That's a solid one, although this says 2005 Dodgers. Still has a mustache on these Dodgers. Still has a mustache on these Dodgers. What did we say? We said baseball card is the. Yeah, that's a stash. Okay, we're gonna take him. There is a chance that there's a cheaper Jose Baerga, but If we get in money problems, we'll see if there's a cheaper Jose Baerga. Okay, this is loading. What's going on? We're back. Internet is back and going. We got Jose Valentin in here. Again, a little more expensive. We wanted someone under 500K. But let's see if we might just go a 4-man bench, maybe. So we'll see if that works. And now we're thinking outfielders, backup outfielders. I've got a couple guys in mind. I do know, just from playing this game before, that there's a cheap Dave Winfield. And I do know that there's a cheap Tony Aramis. But, like, we might need more. You know what? We're going to take this Dave Winfield, and we're going to see if there's Tony. There's so many good outfielders with mustaches that I'm not worried about. Taking these guys off the just make sure 1987 Tony Armas. I always think of this guy because his son was a pitcher, not a very good pitcher on the Expos. Like he was better. Oh, that's a great stash. That is a great stash. Okay. These say Angels, but I guess he probably got traded. Probably got traded, so he has an old one. All right. That's our bench. And now we could play with the team. Okay. First base, second base, third base. We have guys like really hard in mind. Catcher, we only have 2 guys in mind for catcher. We have Thurman Munson in mind, and we have Tony Pena. And I think we're going to start with Tony Pena. We're going to see if there's a good Tony Pena that we like. And we might try to not spend a lot of money on him and get better versions of other guys. If we could get like one that's a really good fielder and has at-bats, kind of like this, I don't hate that idea. Like he's going to be our 8-hitter, but he's under $4,000. He's got a B+. Even this one has an A+ arm. But this one's a really bad hitter. Okay, we're going to go with this Tony Pena. Let's just make sure that – I mean, I don't think Tony Pena has not had a mustache since he was like 16, but Tony Pena. Now, we could have gone Thurman Munson. Yeah, that's a good stash. I know people are going to be like, why not Thurman Munson? Because we got – I don't know why. We're just not doing it. We got Salfasano and Tony Pena. Third base. Okay, so first base, we got 2 guys in mind. We actually have 3 guys in mind, but we really have 2. And we're going to come back to that. Second base, we got 2 guys in mind. Third base, I only really have 1 guy in mind, and that's Wade Boggs. The question is, how good do we want this Wade Boggs? Because we could probably get a really good Wade Boggs. Just off the top of my head, other third basemen. Oh, there's also Mike Schmidt. Oh, we could get a really good Schmidt. These are like 2 of the best. I mean, like we could get like a really good, like great, like kind of like early hitting Boggs. Like great range, pretty good on base, no power. Or you get good field, less range. Okay, well this one's not bad either. 95 Yankees doesn't have good range, but you know what? Let's look at Mike Schmidt too. He's so expensive because he's so good. Now the power is so huge from him. This one is kind of interesting. 600, like a lot of power, good range, not great hands, but I think we're gonna take 1984 Mike Schmidt. That's a middle of the lineup hitter right there. Sorry, Wade. Shortstops I don't really have in mind. Okay, let's go to second baseman. Now the two second basemen I had in mind here were Bobby Grish and Jeff Kent. I'm kind of leaning towards Grish because again, like guy that's kind of forgotten. Man, I wish this one had more at bats. This one doesn't really hit. Good on, not a bad on base. Really good fielder. This one hits a little bit more. We could live with this Bobby Grish. Or we could get like a better version for 2K more, less of not as much as a fielder, but does give us good power. Or we could go here. What are you guys thinking? Do we go with the better fielder, or do we go with the better offensive player? I mean, it's second base. Or we could go a little bit more and get a really good fielder and a pretty good hitter as well. Let's get some offense on this team with Bobby Grish. And maybe no, we're going with that. Okay. First base, here's the thing is he doesn't have a lot of range, but our first baseman is gonna have range. The three guys we have in mind right now are Eddie Murray, who I'm probably not even gonna look up, Don Mattingly, and Keith Hernandez. And I do think Keith has the most iconic mustache probably on this team next to Rollie Fingers. So that's who we're sort of leaning towards. And if you see, he's a range machine. This is like one of the best defensive first basemen of all time. I mean, best defensive first basemen of all time. You're thinking Keith Hernandez. You're thinking Don Mattingly. I don't know, Vic Power. That's a random guy, but okay. Like this 400 is jumping at me. This 415 is jumping at me. This one doesn't have enough plate appearances. Okay. I know like people are like, why do you care about range for first baseman? But I mean, maybe he covers the hole for okay, right now we are getting a little bit over our skis. We have 4 roster positions left. And we have $18 million left. We have 5 left, but one of these guys are probably going to be a cheapie. Let's pretend we spend at the max $500,000 on that extra bench. That would mean we have 18 for 4. What is that math? 18 divided by 4 equals 4.5. All right, let's get. Okay, I don't really have shortstops in mind. The only guy I'm thinking out is Robin Yount. I mean, there is Ozzie Guillen and Jose Valentin, and like if we want to get like a better version of them that could play short. There's also Dale Berra, Yogi's son. He has a pretty good mustache on the Pirates. Okay, let's look at if we could get a good fielding Yount that's under 4.5. We'll slam dunk it. And what do we? How are we? We're saying like we want like a B. Like we're gonna say we want a B range, but really we want like a B plus range. The thing is, he might be expensive because he's good. Okay, like this is exactly the Yount we were talking about. A plus range. Not a great hitter, but not a bad hitter. Only gives us. We're gonna need at bats for him, but like okay, this it doesn't change our average. What about this version? Okay, this version does not hit, but it does. It will bring down our money. and he will never have to sit him. I have no power on this team, and I don't think adding this Yount is going to help us. Okay, we're going to go with this Yount. We got really good range on that left side of the field between Schmidt and Yount. I mean, we have very rangy infield other than Bobby Grish. Okay, now we have an outfield, and we got to try to figure out where we're going. We might finish the bench right now. I mean, both of these guys can play short. We don't really need anything there. We don't really need too many there. Okay. Let's see if there's a cheap Doug Dre back. No. The relievers are going to be tough to find the cheap one because they usually pitch innings. I'm just looking at my pitch. I don't have any more pitchers listed. There's got to be. I mean, we still have Sparky Lyle. Is there a cheap Sparky Lyle that actually has a mustache? 1982 Sparky Lyle. Do you have a mustache? 1982 Sparky Lyle. No, I don't want you. They have my location. Sparky Lyle, baseball card. Look at all these words that are spelled wrong. Yeah, that Sparky Lyle has the mustache that we were hoping for. Okay, we're gonna go with him. And now we have 13 for 3. Equals 13 divided by 3. 4.3. A little more because we got some cash there. Okay. I think we're going to kind of continue with the range thing, and we're going to probably try to get at least one of these outfielders to be like a rangy guy that isn't necessarily going to be expensive. Okay, so outfielders we have sort of in mind right now. We have Reggie Jackson. We have, we already took Dave Winfield. We got Juan Gonzalez. That's a hitting. These are the hitters. Jim Rice, another good hitter. Dwight Evans, Kirk Gibson, Andre Dawson. These are all kind of good hitters. Dave Kingman. I mean, again, he's a offensive player. I think Chet Lemon from the Mets. He might be a good defenseman. Oh, and let's go with Delino, the Shields. Also, did Tim Raines have a? Did Tim Raines? No, he's a left fielder, but he's fast. Does Tim Raines I think The Rock had a mustache. That's a mustache. That's a mustache. Doesn't have one there. Okay, that might be like season dependent, so we might not. Chet Lemon. We might go with this Chet Lemon. Only 500. But it'll bring down our cost. 1976. Oh, I think Harold Baines had a mustache. 1976. Chet Lemon. It was his rookie. You know, the thing is when they're rookies, sometimes they're clean shaven. Not Chet Lemon. We love it. We love it, Chet. Okay. We are going to need innings there. I mean, okay. We will have about 5 million each for both of these guys. We're thinking. I know that there's going to be some. Okay, let me look at my lineup right now. Do we need power? Do we need? Right now we have 1, 2. We only really have 2 power hitters, which means we should probably. I mean, Jim Rice also has power. We're going to try to see what the best kind of affordable version. Ooh, there's a lot of under 5 Reggie Jacksons with a lot of innings. And they all hit. The problem is he doesn't field, but like we could get this or even this version of him that's good hitters. Okay. I don't think we're gonna find a cheaper, like power hitting version. Let's just make sure 1982. This is a late 1982 Reggie Jackson. Still has the mustache. We love it. Still has the mustache. Okay, so that's really cheap for a guy that could hit like that for us. And that gives us that many plate appearances. We now have 5'7", and we have a bunch of guys on here. We can look at Juan Gonzalez. We can look at Jim Rice. We can look at Darrell Evans. We can look at Kirk Gibson. We can look at Andre Dawson. I think we would like another. I mean, we would just like someone that's well-rounded. We're going to type on Jim Rice first. Does a lot of good, but nothing great. It gives us a lot of plate appearances. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what Juan Gonzalez's advanced stats look like. I feel like he was just like an all RBI guy. Wow, this one hits. Good glove, no range, but 600 slug. And this one under it has 570 slug. Okay, so right now Juan Gonzalez is going to be the leader in the clubhouse. What are we looking at about here? We're looking at about a 126 and no range. Okay. We looked at Jim Rice. Let's look at Andre Dawson. Not Andrew Dawson, Andre Dawson. Okay. Really good fielder. Not a great hitter. Really good speed. Not what we're interested in. We want like a really well-rounded hitter, I think, here. We can look at Kirk Gibson. Kirk, he's kind of cheap. I mean, he's got some interesting years, but maybe we could do better. Who was the other guy we were looking at? Evans. White Evans. Again, not as juicy. So I think Juan Gan is still the leader in the clubhouse. We're just trying to think of who are we missing? Who's a good? Should we look at Dave Winfield? See if there's a good Dave Winfield, and then flip it and reverse it. There's a good Dave Winfield here. Like this Dave Winfield is really 400 on base, 5'2" and 25 slug. Good glove, no range. A lot of plate appearances. If we do this Dave Winfield, we could then get a little bit better of a outfielder. We should have looked at all those outfielders. Let's look at Dave Kingman. Not cheap enough. There was some cheap Juan Gonzalez, I think. One. Can we afford that, or do we have to go with the cheapest one available? 1989 Juan Gonzalez. Did you have a mustache? 1989 Juan Gonzalez. Baseball. I have to Google baseball card. You think if I just Googled card, it would come up? That has a mustache. Okay. Let's see what our plate appearances and our innings look like. If I sign on him, that equals 650. Keith Hernandez and some of these Valentine will get there. Schmidt and some of these Valentine will get there. Yeah, has to go basically all of Ozzy and he'll get there. These guys take a few ones. He takes a few him. He's going to need 150. So theoretically, we could hope for a better Chet Lemon. We could probably we have $100,000 left, $140,000 left, and we're definitely going to want to use it. I'm just trying to figure out where we could use it. We could go with, see if there's a better Ozzie Guillen. See if there's a better Tony Aramis. Let's see if there's a better Tony Aramis. Because we will need some outfield innings. And I do know that I know Valentine could give us some, but no better Tony Ramos. Return to the draft center. There were no other ones that gave us it. Let's see if there's an Ozzie Guillen that gives us. No. All right, let's see if there's a better version of Sparky Lyle. This is always the boring part, guys. I'm sorry. Just trying to figure out how to maximize the cash that we have available to us. No more Sparky Lyles. There might be a better Ty Jones. I mean, he's only a mop-up, so we don't really care about it. But, maybe in an extra innings game or something, we might need him to come and pitch. Okay. 86, still kind of a lot of money. Let's see. We're just looking at this lineup here. We don't really have a leadoff hitter. We've got 3 bad hitters and no leadoff hitters. And only 2 lefties. All right. We're going to create this team. And we'll be right with, and we'll give you the lineups, the final lineups, the starting rotation, and the bench players and bullpens right now. For our starting lineup, behind the plate, we have a 1988 Tony Pena. At first, we have a 1983 Keith Hernandez. At second, we have a 1979 Bobby Grish. At the hot corner, we have a 1984 Mike Schmidt. At shortstop, we have a 78 Robin Yount. In left field, we have a 1988 Dave Winfield. Patrolling center, we have a 76 Chet Lemon. And in right field, providing some pop in the lineup, we have a 1982 Reggie Jackson. For our bench players, our backup catcher, we have 2006 Sal Fasano. Backup infielder, 2000 Ozzie Guillen. Utility player, 2005 Jose Valentin. And for our backup outfielders, we have a 1989 Juan Gonzalez and a 1987 Tony Armas. To our starting rotation, leading the rotation, we have a 1984 Dave Stieb, followed by a 98 Randy Johnson, a 1983 Ron Guidry, the Louisiana Lightning, and rounding out the rotation, El Presidente, a 1990 Dennis Martinez.
To the bullpen, we have Mr. Jones, Todd Jones, 2003, followed by an 82 Sparky Lyle, an 81 Dan Quisenberry, a 93 Dennis Eckersley, a 96 Rod Beck, a 1988 Willie Hernandez, a 1979 Goose Gossage, and closing out games, 1982 Rollie Fingers, mustache wax and all. So guys, let me know what you think about the lineup. Let me know what you think about the starting rotation, the bench, the bullpen. What could I have done better? What would you have done? What did I do wrong? Who did I miss, most importantly? Who shouldn't have been on this team at all? Is this a playoff team? Is this a championship team? Is this a 500 team? Is this a team that's going to finish dead last place? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Moonlight Sports Presents. Peace!